Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Alex, the architect for Back4App, and this is Talking to the Architect. Today we'll be discussing programming languages. And there are so many programming languages that we'll be focusing on the most common programming languages that we see here in Back4App. The first one is JavaScript. JavaScript is the most known programming language around the globe. So it's very easy to program and to learn JavaScript, and it has been accepted as the main standard for web applications. But with JavaScript, you can also develop for mobile and for desktop if you wish to do so. The second one is TypeScript. TypeScript is another very popular programming language that has grown so much on the last years, in the latest years, and it can actually run JavaScript from inside its own code. So you can write JavaScript code portions inside TypeScript and it will work just as well. The third one, now talking mobile, is when you are developing applications for Android, you have to use Java if you're using native code. Java is a very popular programming language as well, but it has lost some space on the last years because of frameworks such as React Native that can produce binaries for both Android and iOS devices. So Java has downsized a little bit. And now talking about iOS, we have actually three programming languages. The first one is Swift, which can be decoupled on SwiftUI as well, which is the newer way to produce user interfaces for iOS devices. And you have a very old standard programming language called Objective-C that used to be the main programming language for iOS devices, but now is getting a little more unusual to find projects written in Objective-C, as Swift is much more modern. Actually not last, but we also have PHP. Lots of users use PHP. It's very, very popular as well. And we have many projects written in PHP here in Back4App. And last but not least, we have .NET. .NET is a Microsoft framework that can build applications for a lot of different devices, including mobile devices as well. And we also find many projects in here that work with that. Now, if you're coming to Back4App and you have experience in one of those languages I just showed you, we can help you build your code much faster. So for instance, if you have an empty application just like mine here, you can see right now, you can click this API button on the left and you find API reference. If you click this, it will open a new website, and in here you'll find the 7 most common programming languages that we have in Back4App. So JavaScript, TypeScript, Android, Swift, Objective-C, PHP, and .NET. And also, if you're going to use REST API calls, you also have curl, which is a program that allows you to make REST API calls. So if you know at least one of these languages, all you have to do is choose a class. For instance, here I have my user class from parse. If I expand this, you'll see all the methods for signing up, logging in, verifying email, requesting password reset, and everything that you can possibly do in the user class. If you want to build a query, all you have to do is expand the query, and here you'll find queries for counting objects, distinct results, how constraints work. But to illustrate better, let's create a new class. So back to my dashboard, I'm going to create a new class. I'm going to call this class dog. I'm going to create a public class so I don't have to authenticate. And here I'm going to add 2 new fields. The first one will be a string. It will be named name. And also a number that I will call age. So now my dog class is here and has the properties name and age. If I go back to my API reference and refresh the screen, you see now my dog class showed up. If I expand this, you find methods for creating, reading, updating, and deleting objects from that class. So let's say I want to create a new dog. Just click creating objects, And let's choose the language of my choice, in this case JavaScript, but you could choose any of the languages present here. So JavaScript, and here it is, code that will read through the schemas of my class and generate code that I can just copy and paste into my project, and it will just work. So as you can see, it's creating a new object from the class dog here. It identified the name as a string, so it put a string as its value, and it identified the age as a number, so it put 1 as value. And also created a try-catch block trying to save this object for me. So all I have to do is copy this code, paste it in my JavaScript project, and it will just work. And it works for all the languages. So for instance, in Swift, it will do exactly the same. The good part about this is that it makes our framework very easy to learn and start programming from the very beginning if you don't know anything about our framework, but you know at least one of those programming languages. So if you found this video useful, please consider clicking the like button and subscribing for the channel so you can help us grow. And I hope you find it useful for you, and share it with your friends, and hope to see you on the next video tomorrow. See you soon. Bye bye.